Hi there, Frank Winston here for the Pacifica Historical Society and the host of our weekly television show, Footprints of Pacifica, where we explore and discover the lure and the lore of lovely Pacifica, its character and its characters. This week's show focuses on a relatively obscure part of Pacifica, namely the archery course for Sharp Park. It's located east of Highway 1. It's run by the City and County of San Francisco Recreation Department, and the San Francisco Archers normally are occupying the space. But you tonight will see in our video more of the history and the operation of the archery course. Let's roll the video.
In the 20s, Pope and Young and Ishii started the San Francisco Archers. It went from, I think, up in Mount Sutro. They'd practice, and Ishii showed them how to make a bow and how to make bows and arrows. And then from there, they went up to Mount Sutro, and they had an archery range there, and everything started to become uniform, and archery started to grow. And then but they got kicked out of there and went out in the dunes, out in the avenues for a while. And then one of the heirs to the property was a national champion archer. Her name was Marie Carter, I think. And she was a national champion, and she's the one that brought San Francisco Archers out here.
Well, the Sharp family originally owned it, and they were a wealthy family, and they lived in San Francisco. And with the land here that they owned, they eventually decided they wanted to get rid of, so they gave it to their attorneys, the Murphys and the Spreckles. Now, the Spreckles and the Murphys both sat on the Park and Rec Board for the city of San Francisco, and they left the land to the city of San Francisco in perpetuity as long as it's used for recreation purposes. So the land here is protected from development in the sense of housing or commercial development, and can only be used for things such as archery that you see going on here for recreational purposes.
And somewhere there's a letter that's designated that this place is to remain an archery range.
State Relief Camp was started during the Depression, I don't know what year. Then Sharp Park Temporary Detention Station was open from 42 to 46.
Yeah, the club actually started back in 44 or something. But, well, at the time, there was actually an internment camp out here during World War II, Japanese internment camp. And that's why there's actually a place over as you come in, there's actually a staircase that goes up to where one of the internment barracks were. That, of course, is all gone now. Bad memory for a lot of people. But then the range was put into place. My understanding is about 46. The range went into place. We've been here for over 60 years now. Pretty much the history is the people who have come here and kept it alive and worked it and everything. Everything you see out here has been done by club members for 60 years. It's all put together by the people that are out here.
We're in the 100-yarder, our wonderful archery range here. It's like a big meadow up here, flowers blooming. It's set up for Olympic practice. We do have, from time to time, people that come in and practice their Olympic shots. So their bows are a little different. I don't even know what their bows are called, but they shoot very precisely and practice very, very diligently. What was it, a couple of years ago we had Koreans coming in and practicing.
Yep.
Because they had no other place to practice up here. Very nice people.
The clubhouse was built, I think, in 1963. We purchased it in 1963 for $3,500. Went through all the city permits with San Francisco and requesting that we could build this building for basically a tool shed and to get out of the weather when the weather's not so nice, and a place to gather. And we gave the clubhouse to the San Francisco Park and Rec as a gift, and they accepted the gift. And so anyway, we're lucky to have the clubhouse down there. A lot of archery ranges don't even have a building, no electricity, no water. Of course, we had the water department run a line in for us, which we paid for so that we could get water. We have a full kitchen, wood burning stove so we can keep warm on those cold days, and it's a nice place for our meetings and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, we got a banner inside that says SF Archers providing recreation and family fun in Pacifica since 1946. Most of the trophies are from the 80s and 90s. People were a lot more active in organized archery, and we pretty much make our own awards now. You know, keep the price down, and most traditional archers, they appreciate something more that's handmade than something that you could buy from the store. We do have one old photo, but the photo was actually taken down on Market Street. San Francisco Archers had an indoor range down on Market Street. The photo I have was dated 1946, and it had all the old members in this photo, which is pretty neat. There's a guy named Robin Williams I ran into at one of the sports expos totally by accident, and he was looking for a place to shoot. He's in a wheelchair, and I told him to come out and try our range here. And he said, well, where's the range? I said, San Francisco Archers. And he told me that he helped build the range here. And I asked him what year, and he told me 1944. And I've been wanting to get back and talk with him because he's a pretty interesting guy. I haven't seen him. I invited him out and wanted him to make suggestions of how we could make our range more handicap accessible to people in wheelchairs. And so we're always trying to improve our range in that manner too, to make sure that everybody can come and enjoy this place. There's 228 target courses here. This is what we call our white range. This is target number 9 on the white range, and it kind of zigzags in the valley here, comes up and around and kind of goes up on the hill over here. And down next to the clubhouse is our other range. It's called the red range, and it's a little more hilly. It has 28 targets on there. And then we have actually an Olympic practice field, which is kind of like a giant football field where the FIDA shooters, the Olympic-style archery guys will go up there and practice. But for the most part, it's all marked yardage. We have different markers for different types of targets. This one here, we have a paper target up on it, an animal target, and we shoot from the yellow markers. And if there's circles up there, you'll shoot from the red markers or the... Anyway, it's kind of like golf. There's different rounds for different things. We got, I think, 3 practice areas down there by the clubhouse, and that's about it.
the Native Americans, when they lived here before the Europeans arrived, Native Americans would have kept the hills here bare of any growth, and the grass that was grown here they made a stew from, and it was a source of nutrition for them. And the trees would have been, an impediment to what they did. You've got to keep in mind that the ocean was their primary source of food, but that there were deer and other animals that they hunted in the area, and they didn't like it densely forested. So these hills would have been bare, covered with grass and maybe an occasional oak tree, but nothing like you see now with all these eucalyptus trees, which are relatively recent.
One of the guys, he was moving and he had this pet duck. He said, I'll just let her go on the lake. And we're thinking, the predators are going to get her real quick. But some drake liked her, I guess, and the drake and the hen. And we just put in wood duck boxes. Try to get some of the wood ducks to stay.
If you spend any time on this range and you keep your eyes open and you really look for the wildlife, you will find everything from every variety of raptor you can imagine, the birds of prey, hawks of every kind, especially the red-tailed hawk, but others as well. White-shouldered hawks, you name it, you'll see them out here. We even have a blue heron that comes in and lands on the lake back here every once in a while. That really likes that. He looks really odd in there with all the ducks and the coots and the other birds. Of course, we have the protected species here all over the place. This is a natural habitat for the San Francisco garter snake and frogs, San Francisco red-legged frogs, I believe they're called. I've never seen the frogs, but I've seen the snakes, and they are absolutely gorgeous. The blue stripes on them, it's like a neon sign saying, look at me, I am a gorgeous snake. But besides that, you'll find coyotes everywhere here. You'll find deer here, bobcats, rabbits, foxes, both red foxes and gray foxes. You'll find raccoons, skunks, bobcats. All of these things our members have seen, and they're actually pretty routine. We even every once in a while have a sighting of a mountain lion here. They're rare, but we do see them. And the reason for the mountain lions is because through the GGNRA we are connected to the Crystal Springs Water Preserve and that animal preserve over there, and they have a relatively clear shot through the wilderness to come in here, and so the mountain lions will come in and see if they can nail a deer in here every once in a while for themselves. So we, my friend here, Tim, who has seen several, and other members have as well. I, however, have not been that fortunate yet. I believe them though, because there are just too many people saying that they've seen them and showing me where I really believe them. The other animals, though, I've mostly all seen myself.
I have.
So I know that they're definitely here.
I have a copy of it. Just like the wildlife out here, you have to be patient. Yeah. But the deer will actually bed down right in here. You can walk right by them. They don't. Sometimes you want to scare them a little bit because you think that somebody with bad intentions, it'd be really easy for them to do something. But they'll actually sometimes we'll shoot at a target and the damn deer will walk out. And it's like the arrow's in flight. It's like, hey, and it hits the target and it makes a sound and they scatter back off.
If I let go of my arrow, a deer walks across the trail, I'm going to please be high enough. Because if I was, he walked out at about 40, I should have been easily over him on the fly. Scared the crap out of me. There you go. Nice shot, Mike. I can see me trying to explain to somebody that I was not shooting at.
You guys look at the markers here. It's kind of like golf. There's different rounds depending on which targets are. We got white markers, red markers, yellow markers, and that's all for the adults. The blue markers are for the youth, and the black markers are for cubs. I think it's like 10 and under. They shoot like 30 yards and in. The youth will only shoot 50 yards and in, and the longest shot right here is 80 yards. The marker's back over there. So this is a pretty spectacular shot across the lake here. Yeah. Right now we're doing an animal round, so I think the farthest we'll shoot is on this whole course would be about 65, 70 yards, something like that.
That's in. I can see the line, but see, the thing is, your fletch is real high, but your arrow's clear down on the line, Donnie. Oh, great.
Fresh on the president.
There you go.
Hey, Jim.
Nope,
That's off to the left.
Thanks.
Come on, Jim.
In they say.
That ain't in.
I could send Helen Keller down there.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Where? Man, I like that.
Out. Out. This is Matt's extra arrow. Okay, and that's Dimitri's extra arrow, right? Dimitri, extra arrow, right?
Yeah, that's his extra.
Okay, Dimitri.
Larry.
Larry. Second?
Third.
Third, 10. Dimitri. First.
Jim.
Jim, 10. Hang on, Matt, I'll tell you.
I think it's in.
I think you got a line. You better really pray the first one's in now. Definitely need it to be. Yeah. Aye.
It's just a gorgeous place to shoot and to learn archery and to get exercise. The sport attracts women, as you can see, the ladies here who are shooting.
It's yew wood. It's actually one piece. It's from the Pacific Northwest. That's the sapwood, or the outside of the tree, and that's the heartwood. And together they make a really natural spring for arrows, for bows. So it's a very good wood bow. Bow wood, sorry.
And that style goes way back?
Medieval, actually older than that. It's, I think the oldest bow they found in the style is about 6,000 years old. And they found it actually with Otzi, the guy from in the ice in Austria a few years ago. Yeah.
We're several hundred Italian and Japanese internees here. There is a site online. If you Google Sharp Park Internment Camp, you'll see some pictures actually of this area as well. And the first thing that will strike you is where are the trees? Because the hills are pretty bare at that time as well. I can show you where some of the buildings were for the internment camp, but I wouldn't pretend that I know exactly where everything was. But some of the things are really pretty obvious, and you can figure them out.
There was 191 Japanese, a number of what they called Peruvian Japanese. There was Chinese, Italians that had been arrested, Germans that had been arrested, and they were all detained here at various times.
From the time that they had the infirmary over here, they had, I guess, both the internment and an infirmary for the internment camp, and medicine bottles.
Most of the history is the stuff that most of us know in the last 15 to 20 years. Because to get guys that have been here a lot longer than that, you know, you'd have to start getting up into the guys that are in their 70s and 80s, and not as many of those around right now. So, yeah, we lost a couple already this year. So
There are many places where you can hike in Pacifica. There are places where you can skateboard. But this is the only place where you can legally shoot in the city of Pacifica, and this archery range is sort of a focal point for archers from all over the state. We hold 4 or 5 shoots a year here that They draw in hundreds at a time and thousands over a typical year, and is really considered a gem in the archery community. As you walk around and film, I'm sure you can see, why that is. We have whole families that are members here, and every member of the family shoots, from 7-year-old young girls through old fogies like me at 65. We all enjoy this tremendously. Get out in the fresh air, hike around, shoot your bow, do it with the family, and have a good time. And feel good about it because you're outdoors getting some good exercise.
We go through phases where we'll have a lot of competitive archers for a while that travel around and compete at places, and then we'll go for a phase where nobody really wants to do that for a while. They'll hang around here and just shoot. So it cycles. Right now we have a few of us that travel around and all around the state and compete, but there will come a time where people won't want to do that. They'll just want to hang around here. Up at Reading this year, Jim Long, one of our club members, is the national 3D champion senior. It's his first year as senior, and he won the nationals up there.
Oh, he didn't
up
tell
at
me he
Reading.
went to senior.
Yeah, he went to senior this year. 55 went to senior this year, and he's our national champ now for the 3Ds. Pretty cool. 14.
It'd be pretty bad though if a rookie beat you on this.
I'm not shooting very good anyway. That's okay.
That was to the right.
That's out.
That's your favorite target, isn't it, Jim?
Jeez, hit the thing, would you?
That's out.
Doing the shoot, it goes till 5 o'clock, and you can shoot any time between 9 and 5, and there's a potluck after.
Oh my goodness.
And what's the deal with these dinosaurs?
Well, once a year we have a novelty shoot that we put on in August, which is called our 1 million years BC shoot. And we put out 70 huge dinosaurs, like some that you see here. Some that obviously need to be repaired right now, but believe me, when they all go out on the range, they're all put together and are suitable targets. This one is. We even have fictitious. Buddy here.
Well, the archery range is about 60 years old now, starting back in the 1940s, and it's really one of the better archery ranges in Northern California. And every weekend almost you can find archers there, and they have archers from children all the way up into their 80s and 90s. I understand there's one gentleman up there that's still shooting. He's in his 90s, so they go out there every day. And adjacent to that, of course, is a former rifle range that had been there for many, many years in the early 60s. And in the 80s, it was closed due to a situation of where allegedly bullets were being strayed into the hills there, and for a safety reason they had closed that range, and it remains closed today. And obviously it's a situation where there's a lot of toxin and lead and the land there and cannot be used at this time. Eventually, hopefully, working with the city of San Francisco, that something can be done, and maybe perhaps down the future, down the road, that we might have some kind of a environmental center there, playing fields in that area. Who knows? That's yet to be decided. That's always for discussion. That lends into itself to what we would like to add to Pacifica. So that's always something that we can talk about down the road.